Happy Thursday and welcome back to This Day in History. Today we'll take a look at those who identify as non-human, go all the way back to 1676, and explore the dramatic events of Bacon's Rebellion. We'll celebrate the birthday of a music legend, Bill Medley, and talk about the timeless Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's embark on this journey through history. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for September 19th. September 19th is the 262nd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 263rd in leap years, with 103 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is Otherkin. Otherkin. We talked the other day about therianthropy. Today's word is related to that one. You might recall that therianthropy is a name for a mythological situation in which a human transforms into an animal or a hybrid like a shapeshifter. In that vein, therians may be described as individuals who feel that they are something other than human in a non-biological sense. Today's word, Otherkin, are described as a subculture of people who identify as partially or entirely non-human. It seems that while therians and Otherkin might seem like different names for the same thing, they are different from each other in a way or two. It is confusing, but best I can tell, therians seem to have more to do with identifying with or as an animal of the natural world, like dogs, wolves, bears, and so on, while Otherkin identify as a different thing, whether from the natural world, mythology, or popular culture, such as aliens, angels, demons, dragons, elves, fairies, foxes, horses, sprites, unicorns, wolves, and fictional characters. It appears that Otherkin communities are mainly an online phenomenon. The word Otherkin was suggested by one of my viewers. Thank you. If you have a word you'd like us to explore in this Word of the Day section, let me know in the comments. We'll take a look at it. And with that, we've mentioned before that in the early days of colonial America, anyone who had or did business in colonial America did so by Ascent of the Crown. And we're talking 1600s here, and the king had a lot of rules, as kings often do. But the colonists encountered all sorts of issues and problems for which they tried to figure out and enact solutions without being able to check with His Majesty about every little detail. While King Charles II is reported to have been a fairly agreeable fellow on a personal level, several orders had been issued that, while they may have profited the crown, ultimately made things more difficult for the colonists. Unfortunately, this led to a confluence of complicated and complicating factors, which generated dissatisfaction among the Virginia colonists, ultimately leading to an armed rebellion led by a settler named Nathaniel Bacon against the colonial governor William Berkeley. So it is that on September 19, 1676, the settlement of Jamestown was burned to the ground by the forces of Nathaniel Bacon during what is known as Bacon's Rebellion. Nearly 24 songwriters have been born on September 19 in the last 100 or so years, most of them singer-songwriters, and another dozen just singers besides that who are not listed as songwriters. So we'll just grab one out of the hat and talk today about American singer-songwriter Bill Medley, born September 19, 1940. Best known for being half of the Righteous Brothers team, he got started in the music biz in the early 60s. He's written songs for other artists and was introduced to Bobby Hatfield in 1962. They formed a duo called the Righteous Brothers and made a lot of records together. They parted ways as a group in 1968 to pursue solo careers, but would occasionally get back together to perform as the Righteous Brothers until Bobby Hatfield's death in 2003. And in honor of Bill Medley's birthday, let's talk about one of the Righteous Brothers' famous songs. A composer named Alex North had written a tune back in the 1930s. Come the 1950s, he was contracted to write a score for a prison film called Unchained. Mr. North asked Hy Zarrett to write some lyrics, and the result was the song they came to call Unchained Melody. Now, the movie producer wanted the lyrics to include the word unchained, but the writers declined, choosing instead to write the song from the point of view of a person who pines for a lover he has not seen in a long, lonely time. Gives me goosebumps. Unchained Melody has been performed by a number of other artists, including Elvis Presley, but the most famous version is the one by the Righteous Brothers, who released it in 1965. Unchained Melody made it into the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1965, and the song was re-released when it was featured in the movie Ghost in 1990, performing well in the charts around the world that time too. Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. Link in the description. Some interesting pieces in the puzzle of history today. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oops, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.